Okay, this is GamerBlave, and we're back with The Last of Us. If you missed the last video, then I strongly encourage you to go back and catch that. At least if you are at all interested in the narrative, and you're not familiar with the narrative of The Last of Us, or the story of The Last of Us, if you haven't played it or seen another Let's Play. In which case, I am honored if this is if this happens to be your first experience. But anyway, what happened is they were going to do the procedure on Ellie. Ellie was she never regained consciousness from the near drowning experience that she had. She never regained consciousness, and the Fireflies were going to operate on her, and that did not sit well with Joel. Joel was unwilling to accept that. So Joel got her out of there, and it was a pretty violent situation, and brought her to this point. They're presumably heading back towards Tommy's at this point. And let's go ahead and head on here.
All right.
But
Now watch your head going through.
I got it.
Ellie doesn't know, and I guess Joel does not intend to let her
I
know.
don't think I ever told you, but Sarah and I used to take hikes like this. I think the two of you would have been good friends. I think you really would have liked her. I know she'd have liked you.
I bet I would have.
Now, the thing is, no one really, Ellie didn't have anything to do with that situation. She was completely and she was 100% unconscious from A to Z in this situation. So Ellie was not a participant in the situation. No, Joel had two options in the situation. Either not participate, leave, because he, tried to argue, and they said, well, you can either leave or die, was essentially his choices presented to by him.
Down there.
And he
Just a little bit further now.
he took it upon himself to halt their activities. But the Fireflies more or less said, more or less made it such that Joel was faced with the decision of either make it so Ellie dies without having any say in the matter, or not.
There. I got you. Give me your hand. All right, come on.
Hey, wait. Back in Boston, back when I was bitten, I wasn't alone. My best friend was there. And she got bit too. We didn't know what to do. So she says, let's just wait it out. We can be all poetic and just lose our minds together. I'm still waiting for my turn.
Ellie.
Her name was Riley, and she was the first to die. And then it was Tess. And then Sam.
None of that is on you.
You don't understand.
I struggled for a long time with surviving. And you... No matter what, you keep finding something to fight for. Now, I know that's not what you want to hear right now.
Swear to me. Swear to me that everything that you've said about the Fireflies is true.
I swear.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. Drop the mic, Naughty Dog. Shut the door and raise the rent. My goodness. Okay. First off, I am sorry to make a 6-minute video. Or a video with only, what, 5 or 6 minutes of gameplay here. If you'd even call it that, there wasn't really anything but walking through the woods there. Okay, so now that that's out of the way. What a game. Not only was, you know, the gameplay itself solid in terms of just, you know, how one interacted in terms of the you know, the controls and you know, the action, right? And how one interacted with the environments, but the action, but the depth of the characters and the way that those characters interacted with those environments. And I'm not just talking about the environments in terms of the scenery, but the environments as in, you know, what was going on in the world and how the environment in terms of this apocalyptic scenario shaped these characters into what they became and how they acted. You have these various groups doing various things, these various individuals doing various things in various ways, most of whom, you know, were encountered were not the kind of people that you would really want to come across if you were in this scenario. But my goodness, I mean, from start to finish, you know, it was a game that you know, just it left you, you know, wanting to come back to it for more. And when you weren't playing it, you were considering, you know, what had happened in the session, especially later in the game, you know, as the you know, decisions that these characters were making were and the gravity of their situation, or the gravity of their situation. Yeah, I guess I didn't need to correct myself there. The gravity of their situation was so severe, and thus the gravity of their decisions were equally severe. You know, as to make such a compelling and gripping story that you just didn't want to put it down, and thus even when you weren't playing it, you hadn't really put it down. And you know, thanks to everyone who participated in comments, and you know, and also thanks for you know, passively not spoiling the game for me. You know, No one said anything to me. I mean, I got through this game, you know, without ever encountering a scenario that I knew anything about going into it. You know, and with a game that had so much critical acclaim and was so popular, and whatnot, being able to, you know, this far after it has been out, you know, been in the mainstream, being able to delve into it and be able to delve into it in a public space, as I did, and not experience that taint of having it spoiled, was very impressive. Now, granted, I don't have very many viewers, so the risk of that was relatively minimal because there aren't that many people coming who could see it. So, you know, I would have to, one of the few people who did see it would have to be, one of those people who likes people's misery. But anyway, I digress. Now, back to kind of what I was talking about before the cutscene, and I can't remember exactly what I saw, what I had said or did not say, because that cutscene was, I mean, the cutscene was just, that was a perfect end. I mean, a perfect completion of the game. I mean, I don't know what else one would expect from the game. I mean, I guess after seeing that, I don't know what else one would expect, right? I mean, before I saw that, I guess I kind of expected us to go back into Tommy's camp and do a little bit of stuff, and then I don't know. You know, honestly, I don't know. I don't know what I expected. But excuse me, but I digress. Right, so we're going back to I think I was talking about the situation that Joel was forced into, right? Because the Fireflies had removed the element of choice from Ellie's hands, right? She was unconscious throughout the entire thing. So Joel was like, I can either act or I cannot act. That's it. I mean, you've got those two choices. Because he had attempted diplomacy, and they were like, you know, screw you. Your options are basically die or leave. That's what they said. And he was like, no, my options are either leave or kill you guys and get her out of here. So, having done that, right, the diplomatic table is no longer hospitable at that point, in my mind at least. So you have really the option of either, you know, having removed yourself from that situation, driven away, do you then tell Ellie, do you then say, hey Ellie, this is what happened, and I would like to think if I was in that situation that I would try to frame it in a way that I would like to think. I would like to think, but I don't know that I would do this because I don't have a daughter, and I'm not in a situation where I'd have to sacrifice them for the good of humanity or whatever. But I would like to think that I would say to her, they were going to kill you without giving you a choice. And my only option was to do what I did. And after that, there was no going back to that. You know, there was no more going back to that because, you know, more or less, I declared war on them. And you know, if she truly and adamantly wanted at that point to say, you know what, I want to go back knowing that I'm going to die, then maybe I would maybe I would acquiesce to that and attempt to somehow come up with some manner of opening up some kind of dialogue or discourse with the Fireflies at that point. Okay? And then the other option, of course, is to go with what Joel did, and that is just plain straight up not tell her and be like, look, they didn't have anything they could do with you. You're not that unique, and there was no scientific merit for us being there. So let's go back to Tommy's place, which is the closest thing to happiness that we're going to be able to achieve. Okay. Now, I don't think that was potential. I don't think that was the best option, but you know, he was flying by the seat of his pants. Now, you have a couple of other situations here, and I really don't want to make this video 17 hours long, you know, when right now we're just staring at this window, but for my money, right, if you go and you give, if you were to actually go back and give the cure, or if Joel was to leave and they were to kill Ellie and they were to devise the cure at that point, right, then you have given a group, right, that is so blindly and just willing to, without very hastily sacrifice this girl without her consent on the altar of achieving this cure, of attaining this cure, which you know, without going into the morality of that too much, but you give this particular group, you give this group, the Fireflies, tremendous power at this point, right? You give them the power of having the cure, and you know, a group that is willing to wield their power in that fashion, you know, is a very dubious prospect, to say the least. So, I mean, there are a number of very very heavy questions that are raised here, right here at the end of the game. And I mean, there are definitely things that, you know, you consider along the road, and my goodness, this game, I mean, you know, once again, I realize this is fiction. But I mean, the point, in my mind, one of the points of fiction, obviously, is to entertain. But one of them is also to make you think, you know, and to relate, you know, philosophical moral ideals, you know, in ways, in ways, you know, through these fictions, you know, that we can expound upon and discuss and learn from, and I think this did it in a brilliant way, But that being said, I loved the game. I absolutely adored it. And I am so happy to have played it, and I think I am better for it. So, if you liked this video, go ahead and drop her a like. And if you liked it a lot, and you'd like to see other things that I am playing on this channel and you are not already subscribed, then go ahead and subscribe as well. But regardless, as always, thanks for watching. And we're going to pick up with whatever game I happen to be playing next time.